Jaron Boots Ennis says he's 2 fights away from being pound-for-pound king. Who's he going to fight his next 2 fights? Crawford and Canelo? On the Ariel Helwani show, he asked Jaron Boots Ennis about Terence Crawford. Boots says basically he's no longer interested in it. He's no longer talking about the Terence Crawford fight. It was never a dream fight of his, and he's really interested and focused on collecting all the belts at 147. But let's hear from the horse's mouth. I don't own the rights to this material. It's for educational purposes only. This is fair use. This is Boots Ennis on the Ariel Helwani show.
One more. There's some talk maybe a Teofimo Lopez fight could come to fruition in 25. I'm sure you're going to say you'd fight anyone. You're happy to fight anyone. But is that of interest to you? Him coming up from 140?
You bring them on, bring them all on. You know, like I said, like you just said, I want to fight everybody. I want to show the world that I'm the best fighter in the world.
How far away do you think we are from that when we're talking about Boots as number 1 pound for pound?
Maybe like 1 or 2 fights.
1 or 2 fights. Oh, I thought you were gonna say 1 or 2 years. You're right there. You think?
Yeah, I'm right there. You know, I just need that one name. That's all.
Next week, IBF champion Boots Ennis will be defending his Mando against the guy he had trouble with before last year in January, which is Karen Jukachan. And he promises the fans this will be a more impressive performance, and people are expecting Boots to knock out Karen Jukachan. We'll see what happens. Now when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, if somehow he can resolve his beef with Bob Arum Top Rank, maybe we can have that fight after the Jukachan fight if Boots is successful. Now, Teofimo said that he wants to fight Boots Ennis at 147, then move up to 154 to fight Terence Crawford. Now, I know Boots would take the fight. I'm not sure about Teofimo, and this is why he's having these legal issues now with Top Rank, because Top Rank offered him the fight with Brian Norman, and this is the guy that says he never took home $1 million. But what I heard, the purse for the Brian Norman fight was $4 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is where the people's argument makes no sense, because Teofimo could have fought a champion, an undefeated champion, which they say Teofimo fights better if his level of competition is better. Why didn't he take the fight with Brian Norman? If he wins that fight, then him and Boots become a unification match, and that's more money. But he turned it down because he says he don't want to fight on a Friday night. So it's hard for me to believe that Teofimo wants to fight Jaron Boots Ennis or any other top competition. He wants to stick with the Steve Claggets. Now, when Boots says he needs 1 or 2 fights to become pound-for-pound king, is he going to become undisputed in those 1 or 2 fights? Because when you look at Canelo Alvarez, who was undisputed at 168, then you look at Bud Crawford, who was undisputed at 140 and 147, and you look at Inoue as well, who's been undisputed in 2 different weight classes. And then last but not least, Artur Beterbiev, who just recently became undisputed champion at 175. These guys have cleaned out weight classes. I don't care what name Jaron Boots Ennis fights, he is not going to pass these guys up. Like I told you at the beginning of the video, he's talking about 1 or 2 fights away. Who is he going to fight? Crawford and Canelo. Those are only names. He says he needs a name. Those are the only names I know, unless he's going to go down to bantamweight and fight Inoue. And if Teo ever gets back in the ring and Jaron Boots Ennis beats him, that's not enough to catapult him to number 1 on the pound-for-pound list. But anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Let me know what you think. Is Jaron Boots Ennis right? Maybe I'm wrong. Does he need 1 or 2 more fights to be pound-for-pound king? I know he's talented, but I don't believe it. Jay Beezy, I'm gone.